we want to make sure that the public understands that that's what has caused this, that the public employees have not bankrupted the state or the cities, and that we are the ones that are actually at the table making the concessions that need to be made to partner in the crisis that we find ourselves. And so we believe that we are being unfairly characterized as being the problem, as being unreasonable, and all those sorts of things. So we want to make sure that the citizens know that from the Modesto firefighters' perspective specifically, that we have been at the table for the last 4 years. We have been partnering with the city and to solve this financial problem. We have given away and given up and made millions of dollars in concessions through a two-tiered retirement system, through additional costs for new employees to pick up the entire 9% of the employees' portion. And we have, just as recently as a few months ago, given away about $1 million in salary concessions that have gone away. And so we're doing our part at the table, and we would hope that we would keep this debate at the table where it belongs in collective bargaining, that we're not scapegoated in the media, in the public, and that there's a perception created that somehow we are responsible for this when we are not.
My wife is also a teacher. She teaches currently over at John Muir Elementary Kindergarten. Neither one of us went into teaching to become rich, far from it. My first year teaching, I brought home $800 a month, okay? And that was a struggle probably for the first half of my teaching career just to make ends meet. So we're by no means wealthy people. I'm also a cancer survivor, and I'm grateful I have a retirement system and some medical benefits. I pay for much of that myself, but I don't know what I would do if I didn't have that. I don't know where I would be. Some other things people need to realize that there are almost 4,000 retired teachers in the Modesto area. We spend our money here. We are taxed here. I spend my money at the doctor's office. I spend my money at the grocery store. I spend my retirement here in the community, which, by all accounts, needs all the help it can get. We are the people that live here and continue to contribute to the community. Several side notes. We put in 8% of our salary for our whole career. The district has put in 8%. That's where the money comes from, plus the investments. CalSTRS last year increased 23% their investments. The top 100 pension systems in the country have increased 10%. So we're not just pulling from other people, we're working to make the pension system strong, survivable, and unfortunately there are a few, maybe 2%, that get triple-digit, six-figure incomes. But the average is $26,000 a year. That's barely over the poverty limit. So, in conclusion, the pension systems, at least with CalPERS, CalSTRS, are solid. They're invested well. We may have a few people who abuse them. That's what we need to deal with. Don't punish everybody. Don't punish 98% of the people for what a few percent do and for political gains, which is popular maybe at this time.
And I'm a little bit bewildered why we've been declared public enemy number one. As Charlie said, we contribute to the community. Our kids and our grandkids go to school with your kids and grandkids. We sit next to you in church every Sunday. We're part of the community. We're the fabric of the community. And it just is illogical to me why we've been singled out as the enemy. If you want to define the enemy, look at the Wall Street bankers and look at the mortgage industry that created this mess that we're in. They're the ones that have contributed the most to this recession that we're in. They're the ones that have caused most of the ills that we're all suffering from right now. Our members' homes have been foreclosed on just as your homes have been foreclosed on. We're not exempt from all this. Some people seem to think that public employees are just exempt from all this, that we're just fat, dumb, and happy. Well, that's not the case. We're suffering in this recession just like everybody else is. And, I just read in the paper this morning where CalPERS has allocated $800 million for public infrastructure projects in the state of California. That's going to put people to work, not public employees, that's going to put private sector employees to work. So our pension system is doing something constructive to help resolve this problem. It's not just taking money from the taxpayers and lavishing it on public employees that are getting these fat pensions. As Charlie said, the average is like $26,000 a year. Hey, I'll freely admit I make more than that. But I worked hard for my money. I worked for 30 years, and I paid my dues. I paid into my pension system. So did my employer, and the board of directors of the CalPERS and CalSTRS and all of the public employee pension systems in the state of California, they invest our funds wisely. The money that it costs the taxpayer is minimal. And the services that are provided by these employees are invaluable to the community. And people seem to forget that. They seem to think, well, we'll just do away with it. I got news for you. If we had all been privatized before this recession started, it would have still happened. And there wouldn't be any difference. In fact, it might even be worse. So, let's get real about this. Let's stop pointing fingers at each other. Let's do what's right for the economy and for the country. And let's point the finger of blame where it belongs, at the Wall Street bankers, the mortgage folks. Some of those people ought to be in jail, in my opinion. And unfortunately, that hasn't happened. They've been bailed out, they've been given stimulus money and all these sorts of things, and we get blamed for it. That's not fair.
Here in the city of Modesto, we have some measures that have been put on the ballot, an advisory measure, measures Q, R, and S. And we believe that those measures were put on the ballot for a political gain by a candidate who's seen an opportunity to further his run for mayor. And we believe that all the three of the measures that have been put on have been addressed. Each individual measure, we have been making strides at the bargaining table to overcome those. We talk about Measure Q. It wants to convert basically the defined benefit pension that we currently receive to a 401k. We know out of the words of Brad Hahn's mouth himself that it'll cost over $100 million to do that. We believe it to be far higher than that. It's not financially feasible to even attempt to do that. And the biggest thing is that it will eliminate death and disability benefits for firefighters and police officers by converting us out of the system we have into a 401k. 401k style, they like to call it. Measure Q, that's Measure Q. Measure R talks about the spiking. We don't do that. It's illegal. There's certain things that can't be done, and they've been resolved. And it's wrong to say that, to lay it over top of all public employees and say we spike our pensions. It's not true. The Measure S has to do with a arbitrary age of retirement. They want the age of retirement for public employees to reflect that of the private sector. What age is that? Do you want a 65-year-old, a 70-year-old firefighter on your fire engines, or a police officer in your car who has to respond to your emergency? I think that the fact is that there's no age tied to that. All these pensions or all these measures that were put out, Q, R, and S, make absolutely no sense when every one of those issues has been addressed and is being addressed at the bargaining table. And it's a slap in the face to all the employees, myself and my negotiating team, and the employee groups here in the city of Modesto who have been working hard at solving the problem and partnering with them. And so we definitely don't appreciate what has been put out. We'd like the facts to be put out about what's been going on. And the fact is that we have partnered with the city of Modesto for numerous years to solve the economic crisis that's come down upon this city. And we will continue to do that and do the right thing. And we hope that the politicians and we hope the voters will see what the truth is about these measures.